Trying to find out how much art Ka was able to Aeria squeeze.
Can't say that.
All right.
I can.
Okay. Confirming that we are in fact live. Hello, everyone. I hope you've all had a wonderful week. Before the show starts this week, I want to shout out our wonderful artist Aeria Quies.
Yeah.
Good old tune sniffer for really rushing to get a bunch of work done, because we're a little pack of miscreants. We're gremlins, and we break games and we speedrun stuff. And that puts Aeria under a lot of pressure after he gets back from a convention and has confunk. So thank you so much, Aeria, for all the hard work that you put into the show and making sure that we have backgrounds so that our wonderful viewers can have something to watch while we play.
Thank you, Aeria.
Yes.
Yeah,
so everyone in chat, make sure to thank Aeria for all the hard work that he does, because it's been incredible and special and important for us. So.
And keep your eyes peeled. You might just see some guest artists this week.
Wowzer!
Ooh.
Additional artists who heard our area, please.
Yes.
Down on our area knees.
We can't start off with this energy.
We can't.
We can and we should.
Oh boy. Well, you guys ready to get back to it?
As always, no.
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm worried and concerned.
Whew. So, when we last left off, our not escapees, our break-inners. We don't have a good name for ourselves, but
Our break-inners? Is that what you
break-inners.
call them now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
are very interesting people. Managed to find their way to the sprawling labyrinthine laboratories beneath the Cape Mendocino prison. As those strange backrooms corridors continue to extend outward in impossible maze-like structures, Javier decided it was time to say, fuck that, and managed to carve a portal through one of the walls to escape the maze, just as the sounds of impossibly heavy footfalls began to chase you through it. So, after passing through Javier's very cool hole, the group arrives in a poorly lit observation chamber.
This
Javier
week is starting fully unhinged. Clearly.
Javier
like
has
that.
impregnated the labyrinth with his swimmers. That's our name now. We're swimmers.
The swimmers.
Someone
All right,
suggested
swimmers.
interlopers in chat. I think it was Dirk.
Interlopers.
That's
I
pretty
really
good.
like that, actually.
Yeah.
God.
So as our interlopers emerge into this new room, they find a large octagonal chamber that sports wall-length observation windows on 7 of its 8 walls, with the last one occupied by an exit, as well as the shimmering ring of the portal you emerged from. In the center of the room stands a lone computer on a narrow, raised desk made to be typed upon from standing height. It looks absolutely ancient, probably older than most of you. You do still hear the stomping from the labyrinth outside, growing louder and quicker, approaching that portal. Javi, do you want to close that portal or leave it open?
Oh, yeah, that thing should not stay open.
Now, unfortunately, you have to pay the cost again to cast that spell again and close it.
That's a power roll.
That is a power roll.
Be an awkward time to critically fail.
That is a success.
Hey.
you hear the stomping growing louder and closer, and it takes some time to close the portal. It's not just slap it and it goes away, but just as whatever is out there starts to come into view, the portal shimmers out of view, closing at your directive.
In order to close it, I get like so focused on tracing the groove again that for a moment, that's the only thing in my head. Like, I don't even remember who I am or like what I'm doing at the moment. And it's just sort of, once it closes, I kind of like sort of startle myself being like, oh shit, okay, yeah, this is what's happening.
An all-encompassing focus.
The first thing you hear is, if I have cancer now, I'm going to make it a you problem.
I think Dakota gives Javi a shoulder rub. It's like, you okay, buddy?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty great. Last time I did that, I sort of fucked it up.
Just looking around, it's everyone else is okay, right?
That was awesome.
I
Yeah,
think-
You really outdid yourself.
Yeah, Keaton just nods, like very actively. She's 100% on the same page as Snapper.
Yeah, last time I did that, I wound up somewhere I wasn't trying to get to, but I think I figured it out.
Well, where were you trying to get to this time? Just kind of looks at the computer and, but there's nothing else in this room?
Nope, just
Well-
a computer on a narrow desk.
It seemed to me like this would be the most secure place in here and the best place to get answers.
What, do you know where we actually are? What is this, a control room? Are we still even in the maze?
Give me an education roll for Javier. You've never been in this room yourself, but you can guess from all of the wall-length windows surrounding it that this is the central observation chamber from which they watched you behind the two-way mirrors as you were undergoing so many of those experiments.
Yeah, this is where they watched all of us from. I'm kind of hoping you're good with computers, Keaton.
She laughs. She's laughing at you like, yes. Is that even a question?
Oh, right. Yeah, I kind of forgot. You're like a hacker and all that. Right, okay.
And yeah, she just sits down immediately and begins inspecting the computer and like logging into it or trying to poke around it.
Have at it, Zoomers.
This thing is older than me by like maybe 20 years.
This is truly an ancient piece of
Oh
technology.
god, it's actually a fucking Apple II. Jesus Christ. I thought you were kidding
It
earlier.
has Apple II warnings everywhere.
Oh no.
Look at this ray traced reflection.
That reflection probe is amazing.
This is what it's like when I can afford to buy models instead of making them myself.
Hell yeah.
Javier sees what it is and he's like, wow, the last time I saw one of these, my uncle was trying to show me like number munchers, I think it was called.
I'm just trying to explore the room that's reflected in it.
I think when Keaton says that, she just like looks over her shoulder at him and she's like, how old are you? And then just like goes back to poking around. The first thing she's going to do is try to eject any disks that are in it before turning it on, just to see if there's any labels or if there's anything in the computer.
There is one disc inside, and it is labeled with security cam footage with a date on it.
So this is a floppy disk. I assume all of you are old enough to know what that is. And then she turns to Snapper and she goes, this is like a USB drive, but like really small.
How small? We talking like 1 gig?
Oh. No, this sucker can fit like 1 JPEG.
He just scratches his head and looks confusedly at you like, what do you mean? Why would anyone want this?
Yeah, things were really rough back in the day. Technology progressed very quickly, and she puts it back in and she says to the group, This thing can't fit any actual footage on it, which means whatever we're doing here is connecting to a network, which means this computer is networked.
And that strikes you as odd, because other than the power cable, there doesn't seem to be any cables going into or out of this machine. Give me a scent check for everybody.
The dedicated power
Hate
button.
that.
Oh, that's really bad. I have a 5.
Scent check.
Don't think anyone expected scent checking.
Smells like computer in here.
I'm afraid.
Oh, Javi.
Oh, there we go. It
Did
wasn't
mine roll?
It wasn't
Okay,
playing
yeah,
along. Scent. Got it. I forgot to open my character in advance.
Does
As
that thing look
Keaton
like a save icon?
is explaining this, as everyone is agape looking at this living
Agape?
save icon in reality, Javi, you smell rotting vegetables inside the computer.
No. No, thank you.
There's something wrong with that computer.
Yeah, I mean, it's old, but you just hit it a few
No.
times. She smacks the side of the computer.
It does that really like loud degaussing sound.
Oh,
Love
is she?
that.
I think when that happens, Keaton's like, oh, that just hits so good.
No, I think there's like I think we should open it.
I mean, don't touch the capacitors. If you connect something on the board, they will literally kill you. They can hold charge for like 30 years after being disconnected. And this one, it clearly is connected. Really quickly, has anything like turned on the screen? Is she able to actually see anything?
If she has turned it on, then yes, she is seeing like the welcome message and the login.
Yeah, log in.
It's in terminal text only. There are no real graphics in just the user startup
like
interface.
boot menu. Yeah.
Well-
So I think, she's like, okay.
Well, no, I understand we want to see what's on the computer first, so maybe hold that thought for a second, but I'm telling you, there's something funky inside that computer.
Great. I love that. All right.
The files are inside the computer?
Can she like list a directory? Is it literally just like, I guess I'll roll computers again.
Yeah.
Computer harder.
All right. So yeah, she computers really hard. She hacks the planet. You said this is a program to connect to security cameras.
Yep, and it looks like whatever was on the disk is essentially a code to look up and gain access to data that is stored elsewhere.
Gotcha. So when as she's doing this, I guess she's like looking through, I assume it's like I'm going to draw a video game reference here, but like Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines, when you hack into a computer, it'll be like list camera 1, list camera 2. Is that like what we're looking at is just like that terminal output? You have to manually go into every one to see the footage?
Yes, and as you're paging through them, it looks like everything has been very recently deleted.
Well, great. This is a load of fucking garbage. She's going to be super thorough and make sure she like looks through all of the ones that seem notable. How many are there? Are we talking 8 cameras? Are we talking 800 cameras? Like, what are we looking at?
Several dozen cameras.
So it would take a while for her to look through all of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So she turns to Javi and she says, whatever you want to do with the computer, you can do with it. Do it. It's going to take me like probably 10 minutes to do this, to look through all of them just to make sure there's nothing. I don't know what to tell you all. Like, you might have seen movies or something where people hack and it's like, you're coding and then I'm in. That's not how it works. It's mostly like reading links on Wikipedia for 12 hours straight until you find one that's kind of interesting. I'm going to stop talking. I can't read while I talk. And then she just goes back to looking at the cameras.
Well, that's not
Anyone
fun.
going to take the top off of it or anything?
I mean, my computer's skills are really bad, so I'm afraid of breaking the computer if you even try.
Can I try with sleight of hand, maybe?
Sure.
Well-
Be very delicate.
I can be bad with
Keaton-
computers less scrupulously.
Keaton rolls her eyes.
I'd like it to be intact, possibly.
How high is your sleight of hand?
40.
Okay. Keaton rolls her eyes as you all start to do this, and instead she grabs I don't want to say Javi. Who does she want to do this? The young guy. She takes Snapper by the shoulders and she sits him down and she goes, all right, this is the arrow cluster. You go through the lines this way. You just, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay. And you just hit enter and it will show you if there's
that one.
Yeah, the really big one. And it might be more resistant than you're used to. This isn't a fucking MacBook, kid. All right. It's not an iPad. You have to actually push the buttons. All right. And then she says, just do this for the whole directory. Then she looks to Dakota and she's like, all right, I can probably, I can take the casing off of this. Do you want me to roll electronics or computers for this call?
Electronics.
Okay. Oh, motherfucker. Can I push this?
Do you want to push
Can I be assisting?
Yeah. How are you assisting?
I think it might be like kind of just teamwork makes the dream work here. I got slender fingers.
Hold one side and pry it open or whatever.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand to assist.
Do I do this? Okay. Now, one thing I want to be sure of, Ka, when I'm rolling, if he succeeds on this, do I roll with +1 die or -1 die?
+1 die, and it will subtract it.
Okay.
It is smart enough to do that. All right.
Okay, cool.
So your help is enough that you do provide a bonus die.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Let's do this. Motherfucker! Keaton probably snaps the fucking casing off the computer.
You snap the casing off and it shuts down while Snapper's in the middle of going through the files.
Whoa, what happened?
That PVC, over time it weathers. She looks at it. How yellowed is this computer in terms of like age?
It is extremely yellowed, and now that you have exposed the interior of it, that smell that Javier smelled is now obvious to everyone.
I think Keaton immediately is like, ugh, wherever this fucking computer came from, Smoker's house. It bleeds into the plastic. You can fucking smell it like a Super Nintendo.
This thing's like 50 years old now.
Yeah, it is, okay? This shit belongs in a museum, not in a goddamn prison.
Oh.
Ooh.
So,
what are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm just looking at trying to see what is causing that horrible smell. Can I see it now that it's exposed?
Yes. Looking inside, you peer through and find a collection of strange organic pods inside the computer.
Nope.
And you think you've seen them before in like the Asian section of the grocery store. These are lotus pods.
Oh.
My brain is on fire. I can't believe you just said that. For those who want to know the significance of that, go watch Dead Laws on Knoll Playing Games. So Keaton, I think, like is like holding the PVC like or the plastic like casing on top of the computer, right? And it's like she probably snapped like a pretty big chunk out of it, and she's really depressed about this. But the moment that it comes off and she sees Javi looking at it, she also takes a look. Can I roll electronics again to see if I can at least connect or like repair anything that got disconnected when I pulled the casing off and smacked it?
Sure, give me another electronics.
All right, that's a little bit better.
So, unfortunately, you're going to have to get your hands down in there into the rotting lotus pods. There are some connectors that have been knocked loose that appear to, instead of feeding out into external outlets, are going into the lotus pods.
Yeah, I think Keaton is like, to talk about her mental state, right? She just saw Knife Rat create a weird MC Escher nightmare portal through the wall, ashtray maze from Control, just open a doorway into this strange room through a liminal space that shouldn't fucking exist. She sees these like weird organic lotus pods, right? And you said they're lotus pods. They look like flowers, or are they fleshy?
They're kind of fleshy. They're like a half sphere with a bunch of holes in it.
Okay. Fungus-like, maybe?
Almost fungus-like, yes.
Okay. She's had a rough day. She touched that sticky tray in the cafeteria. This is fucking nothing. She immediately is like talking to herself. She's like, all right, don't touch the capacitors. I can move the USB header here, or like, like whatever. Like, I don't think there was USB there. I can move the Molex connector here and the blah, 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 blah. She's just like going through. To everyone who's watching, Keaton is like, you all have seen her be this like impulsive, brash, like angry, Gen Z goth girl. This is her niche. This is her special interest. She is deeply aware of and in her element when working with computers. You all get the immediate sense that she's deeply in love with this sort of thing, in the way that like people are in love with their babies, right? Like, you love your child, so you change their diaper. It doesn't bother you when you do that. She full on is like accepting the reality of this situation. It's like, okay, weird organic shit. I have to turn and understand this. She's like looking at the like the PCB and like the CPU lanes and like shit like that. And she's like, all right, this Lotus pod is connected to this, like this port. And I can, maybe if I take this wire and connect it here, it's going to actually, she's like putting it into the individual Lotus pod, like holes, and poking around and like being very conscientious and careful not to like, connect two bridges that shouldn't be connected. She's treating this whole system like it's electronics, and she's good at electronics.
Keaton, please give yourself a point of occult.
Gaspoo.
Remove a sanity.
Yeah. Okay.
Meanwhile, Jet, who understands
computer
nothing.
makes me insane too.
Yeah, and I think, not to flavor this situation too much or take too much control away from the DM, but like, if Javi is watching this, I want her, she like looks up at Javi and like there's like a kinship that she's feeling. She saw him spiral into this wall, like just like tile down this wall into this strange liminal space, and she's like looking to him in like a very like sensei way of like, okay, I watched you do this. That changed my reality. I need to be more like you. And that's how she's approaching this situation.
Yeah, I think Javi would very much initially be concerned, like, oh, she's gonna freak out about all the weird shit in the computer, but he sees how she's working with it, and he's like, okay, let her do her thing.
Okay, I think I got something. Is it working now? And she like looks at Snapper.
The loud degaussing sound calls out again, and the computer begins to start up once more.
Oh, thank God. Do you need help to navigate back to where you were, or I
have no idea what to do from here.
Okay, kid. So here's the thing. You see how on the screen it says connect to cameras? Press enter.
Actually, it appears to have booted into some sort of safe mode. This is a different interface than you were at before. And it looks like from here you can access some deleted data that didn't clean up correctly.
So yeah, you just hit camera directory and it should be completely fine. Wait, what the fuck?
It says recovery mode. I don't know. Here, you take it.
You have to do everything yourself. You want me to roll computers again? She looks at Dakota and is like, her look is just like, I expected more from you.
The computer skills of Gen Z apparently did not transfer to Gen Alpha. I'm sorry to say.
There's a safe in this room?
Keaton is like about to sob. She's like, I guess iPads were bad for everyone. It's not just bad for my generation, it's bad for everyone. She turns back to the group, who I assume is in like a semicircle around her, sitting in this chair, and she just looks them straight-faced and just says, I was born after 9/11. You have no excuse. All right, I'm gonna roll computers to figure out if I can manage this.
All right. You managed to find one particular video dated 10/9 that was scheduled to be deleted but failed to delete. Do you want to restore that video?
I would love to restore that video, but I am also going to ask Ka a question that I don't know if Ka is prepared to answer.
Uh-huh.
How many days ago was 10/9?
I believe it's August now, so almost a year ago.
Almost a year ago. Okay, perfect. So she's like looking through it and she's like, a year ago, what the fuck? Does this is she able to put together anything from the research she did for sandals? Does that line up with any dates she's aware of?
It is definitely after Melvin Mann was interned here, and long before Javier was interned here.
Okay, so she remembers that from the Cellmate files. I think she would. I don't know if she's like gonna say exactly that, but she's like, that's weird. I don't think anything from October came up in my research. And then she's gonna play whatever is there.
The video starts to play, but the audio fails to load at first. You might be able to do something to restore it, but initially all you're getting is video.
Caspu. Ooh, is anything gonna play?
It might take a second to load because it's actually a video file.
A 700 megabyte video file.
Get off the screen.
It's Caramel Tansen.
Sandals doing caramel dancing.
I can't believe they got video of Javier and Dakota's home movies.
Oh, okay.
You see very low resolution CCTV footage that only loops for about 30 seconds. It seems like they don't store large segments on whatever this is. It looks like a maned wolf scientist of some sort, judging by his trademark lab coat, is looking over a patient of some kind.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck?
That looks a lot like, yep.
What the fuck is that?
Those are saber teeth and striped tail and
Fuck.
Keaton is trying desperately to figure out how to like
Enhance.
fix the codec for this thing, but it clearly isn't working out.
Do you want to push it?
Does Melvin have a horn growing out of his eye?
Do I want to push it? I do, but I want help on it. So I think she's gonna look at Javi and or Dakota, and she's just gonna point behind her and she's gonna say, see the green wire? I just plug it into the top left pod, the sixth, going clockwise around it, the sixth hole in the top pod, please.
On it, boss. Can I use a sleight of hand for that?
Has Jet seen this yet?
Sure. I don't know, Jet, are you taking a peek?
I think he would, unless anyone's trying to stop him. What's that bar?
That's me preloading stuff because I learned how to preload.
Oh.
Fancy. All right. Well, if that didn't
You say
work
it's on
to
your
help,
left or my left?
just leave it. Don't fuck with it. It's fine.
No, the third hole. The third hole.
Ooh, you know how to work the holes.
How does this work? Am I gonna get 1 bonus die or 2 bonus die if they get this now?
Oh, I didn't get it, so imagine.
I'm gonna say
one.
you do get a bonus die from Snapper's help.
Okay.
I bet he knows how to use the 3 shells.
Okay. So Keaton is like, she's like writing a bunch of code into the terminal, right? And she's navigating through the directories, and she realizes, okay, I restored the video, but this computer is so old that it like doesn't understand like the codec for like containing Like how you have an MKV file, right? Like you have your MP, it's technically like an MP4 inside of that, and it has like PCM audio. She had forgotten to restore the audio channel for this. So she's like, oh, I'm an idiot. So she goes through and restores the audio channel. Granted, I assume this sounds like garbage, but she goes through and she goes through the process of like, all right, theoretically, maybe this will play sound. I don't know if this records. And she presses enter to play the video again.
So, disturbingly, there are no onboard speakers on this system. Instead, the sound begins playing through some of the Lotus pods.
Why does it sound so wet? She looks over the top of the computer and is like, oh, that's disgusting. It's like slime on a speaker.
Oh, so that's not how they made this computer.
No. Ugh.
Okay.
But you managed to hear, a bit garbled, a bit difficult to make out. It sounds like the scientist on the footage is very lackadaisically reviewing Subject 621's manifestations. And you can hear the subject.
God damn it.
And Jet, you immediately recognize the subject and his protestations as he says, you can't be in here. They said I'm toxic. And you hear the muffled voice of the scientist saying, please disregard all former notions as to your medical state. We are currently researching your status and will provide you with updates as soon as we are able.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
How is Snapper responding to this?
He's still trying to process whether or not that's actually Mr. Man. He's seen Mr. Man in tons of different costume and makeup before, but this is outrageously different than normal.
Jet picks up the monitor. I don't know what's attached or isn't attached to the monitor.
No. You're gonna put that down. We need that. Thank you.
Too late.
He has picked it up.
Where the fuck is this? And I don't know. Does Jet see Melvin or Melvin?
That's a good question. You don't have the hat right now, so I think you see him as he is depicted there.
Was that a rule?
Is there something in like the information in the video file or in the footage itself where I can kind of ascertain like what room this would have been recorded in?
It does say Cam 4, and judging from your experience, you do know which room that is. That is one of the 8 rooms that is viewable from this location.
Okay.
Keaton pleads with Melvin, or not Melvin, Jet, like, hey, buddy, cord, really short. Don't want to lose this. Clearly matters to you. Maybe we put the computer down and
not listening at all.
I can show you how to.
Where the fuck is camera
this.
4? What are they doing down here?
Buddy.
Give me a listen or sense check for everybody.
Scent. Listen. Oh wait, I upgraded listen last time. Yeah. Thanks a lot, motorcycle. Agree.
Keaton is way too distracted by like desperately trying to plead with Jet to put the very, very expensive and important old computer down.
Ooh, you push that shit?
Sure did.
All right. Jet, as you raise the computer and agitate the lotus pods inside, you begin to hear a hissing from inside of it. And Hobby, you smell something sickly sweet and medicinal filling the air.
Come on now, computer down so that we can keep watching whatever it is that's upsetting you, or not, we can stop watching the thing that's upsetting you. Really, just like, this is an important thing, and maybe we put it down on the table because taking our anger out on the machine isn't gonna make the thing on the machine actually go away.
So do I understand what exactly is making that sweeter smell? Am I able to understand what substance it is?
It does feel familiar to you. It feels a lot like the smell when they're about to knock you out.
Yeah, like rub Jet's shoulder.
We should
calm him down.
we need to put that down. Jet, please listen to her. We need to not agitate that.
Jet is like shaking it at this point. Like, that is my fucking husband. That's it. No more fucking detours tonight. It's been way too long.
Buddy, that's a computer. Your husband's on the screen. What you're looking at happened a year ago. We'll do what you want, but maybe we put the computer down gently so we don't, I don't know. And she looks at Knife Rat and she's like, die? What's it going to do to us? I'm not 100% on the level here.
Constitution checks.
At this point, Jet's just pissed, so he just looks at Keaton and is like, I know what a fucking television screen is, while just like shaking it like a fucking rag doll.
Oh no.
It's a bad time to talk.
It further.
It's a bad time to talk down to Jet.
No, I will spend 5 luck.
Okay. Keaton and Snapper, you start to feel incredibly woozy. You're probably going to pass out in the next 10 seconds. The rest of you don't have much longer.
I think at this point I see what's happening and I just kind of like, unless they try to do something in the time that they have, I kind of just like gently guide them to the floor. Like,
yeah, Keaton is like slapping Jet's shoulder to be like, put it down. And she's like getting woozy and like about to fall over.
What is? I don't feel so. I don't feel so good.
Oh, you're going to sleep. Oh, let's put you down real slow. Okay.
Yeah, there was stuff in there that's gonna like knock us out, man. It's already did that to them.
Now, the rest of you probably only have maybe a minute to figure out a way out of this before you succumb to the same fate. What do you try and do?
Exit sign, right? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There is a door that is like right next to where you portaled in through.
What is in room number 4? I think Javier is just kind of like trying to figure out what to do with his time left, and he's like, fuck it. Like what is there anything in there currently?
The light is off in there, so you cannot see through the window.
Can I turn on the light from inside here?
You would have to do that from the computer. Do you want to give me a computer roll?
Be like dragging whoever wants to get dragged towards the door.
Did I accidentally do something else on the computer?
No. If you fail on a push, you might do something terrible to the computer. Do you want to push it?
Do you want to spend 82 luck to bring that check up?
Computer's gonna be here. I don't want to be here.
I mean, okay. What is the door? Is the door to this room pretty secure?
It looks very secure. There's not even a knob on it. It looks like it has to be opened from the computer.
Okay.
Have you tried opening it yet?
There's no knob.
There's no knob. You could try the jet method.
I could try the jet method.
Javier's he knows what's coming. He's dealt with this a bunch of times before. So he rolls a stealth and he's like, everyone hide. And I think I'm just gonna like hide somewhere in a corner and just try to wait out the drug.
All right.
Hide from the smell?
No, hide from like if something comes to check on us while we're in this room that like maybe they won't find us.
Oh, that's a long hide. That's a scary guess. That's just frustrated. It's like always the goddamn chaperone.
Yeah, you're going to pass
this
out.
Door down.
Unfortunately, you can't get that with a regular difficulty. That is an extremely thick door. It looks like they put all their security money down here rather than upstairs.
Of course.
I'm gonna follow Javi's lead here. I think that he's just like pulling his shirt up over Dakota's just pulling his shirt up over his nose and like trying to get low.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Would that be a stealth?
Yep. Would you like to push that?
No. Seems.
See, there's nothing
dangerous.
to push because I already succeeded technically, right?
You can push to try and get a hard or extreme success.
What's your threshold for that?
Hard is half, so that'd be 35. And extreme is 1/5, which is math. Don't make me do math.
So like
1/5 of 70.
all right.
That would be 14.
Thank you.
I have 70 int, so.
Well, Jet's pissed enough.
Oh, spending all the luck on it?
Wait.
Holy shit.
Wait. Oh, I don't know what I was doing. Wait.
Oh, did you mean to re-roll rather than spend luck?
Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
All right.
You just roll it again.
We just roll it again and
Right.
refund yourself 22 luck.
I mean, if you really want to spend that much luck,
So just try
you
to.
could.
I thought there was like a press button or something. All right. Fighting again, I guess.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ!
Fucking good.
He's gonna kick open the door and the fucking people are gonna be right there.
Good. He could use something to hit.
As Keaton falls, as Snapper falls, as Javi and Dakota get into a nice, safe-ish location to hide as they succumb to slumber.
Who caught Keaton? My poor lady.
I thought Javier said he did.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
They each
Yeah.
did one.
I was scared for a second. I was like, she just collapses? Oh no!
No.
Her poor brain.
Jet also probably just dropped the computer.
I didn't have time to hide Keaton or Snapper though, so I think they're just passed out. Like,
They're
in the
just
middle
out
of
in the
room.
open.
Shit.
As they all fall and succumb to this gas, Jet blows the fucking door off its hinges. The noxious fumes begin to disperse as you're left with 4 unconscious people to deal with.
It's really impressive because that door opens inward.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pull, not a push the whole time. You idiot.
That's the entire reason we couldn't get it. It's a child-safe door, but there's the biggest child of them all.
No door is safe from the mega child.
So Jet
See,
just
your issue is you put a door in this room.
Does Jet see anything outside yet? Great.
You come face to face with something you were not prepared to see. Give me a sanity check for Jet.
I think I know what the Minotaur is. And I don't like that either. I'm not psyched about that.
All right, you only take 1 sanity damage. Good for you.
If it's who I think it is, I'm just gonna hug them.
So
Unless it's not.
we're gonna cut away. We're gonna take a look back at what happened shortly after our interlopers arrived here at the prison. Now, Toaster, why don't you go ahead and switch your Foogie back to Sandals briefly for me?
Is he switched? Oh my God, I get to play Sandals again. None of you believed this would happen. It's a double switcheroo.
He keeps getting away with it.
It's everyone's favorite, non-problematic, 100% sympathetic protagonist, Sandals Bueller.
Oh, Sandals.
My least controversial character.
Sandals, you turned the wheel. The look upon her face as you stare at Miss Potatoes is one of relief, much to your surprise. A lot of that boss bitch attitude that she wears on her sleeve melts away as you do. You vanish from sight. You can see your own outstretched paw turn transparent. And soon she starts to move at an incredibly quick rate, like you're watching the world in fast forward. She does a few laps around the room, securing the perimeter before leaving through the front door. And you feel yourself, your awareness of your surroundings expanding in a way the mortal mind was not meant to comprehend. You begin moving backwards, unable to control your translucent body. You retrace the steps you took, walking back through your argument with Jet, through your confrontation with Doreen at the front desk, through your sitting at the waiting room. And then soon, you retrace your steps outside, walking backwards out to the parking lot, outside of your own control, back into your very modest workmanlike Porsche.
I have a quick question for clarity. Is Sandals seeing this from first person or third person?
From first person. So it is very disorienting having no control over your body and moving backwards like this.
Is he feeling it? Like, is he in his body or is he dissociating? Like, what's...
It's very nebulous. You feel the area around yourself more acutely than you normally would, but you also still feel your body. It's a bit overloading to the brain.
Okay.
You motion... Good.
I think Sandals is trying his best to stay zen in the moment. Like, his immediate reaction is like... To talk about his mind state, right? He saw Potatoes, who is his, like, blood oath enemy. Mm-hmm. He finally made contact. He realized that the best choice for him in this situation was to, like, to draw another media comparison. Potatoes is the worst person in the world as far as Sandals is concerned, but also she is Trinity from the Matrix, right? Mm-hmm. Like, she is the White Rabbit. So she says, touch the wheel necklace. And he says, like, his thought is like, I'm never going to get any answers unless I'm courageous enough to jump off the cliff. And I think he looks back to that moment in the lighthouse during Escape Con where Iceberg, in his twisted state, basically propositioned him to follow him to the other side. And he gave up his baggage, and he's thinking of Bullet, his sister, and he's thinking of all of the burdens that other people have suffered for this horrible truth. And he realizes, like, this is my chance. This is the part. Like, if I had bided my time then, this is the thing I was waiting for in order to get answers. This is my turn. And so he is cold as a cucumber, right? Like, zen with all of this, practicing every mindfulness technique, taking in every possible detail. He's counting the blades of grass as he's walking backwards to his car from the parking lot of the jail. It's almost like he's prepared his entire life for this inevitable moment.
And it's funny, I don't know if Sandals has ever experimented with mind-expanding substances, but it feels very much akin to the stories he's heard about them, where your perception and awareness expand, and you are able to count every blade of grass along the way, every stone in the pavement, every star in the sky.
Sandals has probably done ayahuasca at a retreat once. He's done peyote with a shaman before in his pursuit of Zen mindfulness.
He's probably heard Javier not shut up about stuff like this before.
Yeah, as well. I think. Well, you talking about Javier, I think, brings up a really good point. I think Sandals right now is, like, in his own internal way, empathizing with Javier in a way that like Javier, Maven, and Sandals are the world's most dysfunctional family unit, and he feels truly in this moment like Javier is his brother, right? Like Javier, I think honestly right now, his first thought is like, what would Javier do, right? And so he's doing his best to think of this from that same perspective of Javier, the person he knows in his life who he has sent to tons of different paranormal hotspots, to tons of different thin places in the world, desperately trying his best. For the first time, not looking down on Javier, but looking up to him to understand how to navigate this situation.
And as thoughts of Javier linger in your mind, you do spot his face on your phone when you get into the car, the one that's mounted there, because you have multiple phones. You're a very busy man. You have one that's just for the car, of course.
Yeah.
And as your hands come back up into position to grip the steering wheel, retracing your steps from before, you begin to float backwards down the winding road up to the prison, as if you are driving backwards down it, even though your car remains behind. It is a strange sensation, and it comes to a sudden end when you pass into an unmarked black van and regain control of your body, only to regain the touch of gravity and fall to the floor of the van, a sudden gasp escaping your lips.
Okay. Centered. Deep breaths. I'm here. And I think he slowly opens his eyes to look around at where he is.
You see a small, like, eye-level window latch separating you from the front row of the van, and it slides open. You see someone behind it who smiles wide upon seeing you. And he says, "Oh ho, boss lady managed to get you out, eh? Ivan was worried."
He's alive.
Forgive me. I don't think we're acquainted.
Yes, that's probably for the best. Anyway, you took the deal, yes? Boss lady is very persuasive.
Sure. Yes.
Good, good. Many things to explain. This test group has their work cut out for them, but you are in management now.
Well, at least I have experience with that. Sandals is like examining himself. Is he like tied up? Is he restrained? He's nope. Otherwise, this is just the back of a van?
Yep.
All right. I think he like sits up on the wheel well, where that would be. Like it's like a bench, basically.
Yeah.
And he's like touching his like face to make sure everything is there. Is he okay?
He seems okay. He feels, well, a little nauseous, but other than that, okay.
Yeah. I think he vocalizes that. He's like, for the sake of transparency, I feel extremely nauseous.
This is why Ivan does not go turning wheels.
Great. Yeah, I think at that moment, Sandals pukes all over the back of the van.
Ooh, okay. You need Rolaids, bro?
No, I'm okay. I've been through something like this before. Just let me... I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
All right.
That's how you know they're both toaster characters.
All right. I'm all right. I think I'm okay. Sorry.
Right.
I think I'm okay. I'm completely all right. You said...
You store a lot of barf for such a little man.
I ate at a restaurant before I got here. It was a huge mistake.
Oh, never eat before job. You will lose it.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm all right. I'm sorry.
Let's go for a drive. Ivan may not have fancy-smancy American driver's license, but he used to drive for Uber, so you know you are in capable hands.
That's oddly specific, but okay. You said your name is Ivan.
Indeed.
I'm Sandals Bueller.
Oh, I already know that.
Sure, but I didn't want to presume. That's narcissistic. In conditions of business, it's best to introduce oneself to their colleagues. So you say I'm in management, Ivan. It is a pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to working with you.
It is good to meet you as well, Mr. Bueller. Now, let us be off. Boss lady has very little patience.
All right.
And we're going to cut away from that scene.
I've ended every single session thinking, but where's Ivan, though?
It warms my heart to know that Ivan is safe and away from this horrible place.
Or he was 3 days ago.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can go ahead and return your Fugi back to Keaton.
Is that 3 days ago? I think it was. I think that's how it works.
That is what you were told, yes.
My Fugi is back to Keaton.
He could be horrible monster by now.
It's true. Now, as the sweet embrace of sleep takes you, Dakota, you remember it like it was yesterday.
Wait a minute. I know this artist.
The fucking pog face.
This is that Horrorbuns guy.
How'd you get him on the team? That's crazy.
You know what? I got some connections. I don't like to flaunt them.
Can you introduce me?
Oh, I get it. They're dreamwalking.
Now, this is the biggest show of your life. You were determined to pull out all the stops this time. But you couldn't just start with the ace up your sleeve, right? What did you do to warm up the crowd, to get them ready to have their minds blown?
Well, it's a simple matter. You gotta work the room a bit. People don't know who you are until you show them what you can do. I think Dakota just starts with his typical routine. You get the deck of cards. Simple sleight of hand. I hand it to the audience member, tell them to shuffle it themselves. Pick a card. And I'll find it.
They pick that card, eager to see you fuck them up. They want to be mind freaked. They are here for it. They are a willing audience.
I think that Dakota has been trying to work on his edge a bit. He knew that the great David Blaine would always just keep his cool, but going for mind freak. So I think what he does is after the audience member hands the deck of cards back to him, he just takes the entire deck, just puts it right back into the container as it came in, and just throws it.
Ooh.
Throws it over the pier.
Preemptively, someone in the crowd is just like, mind freak! Mind freak!
It's a very rowdy crowd.
So he throws he just chucks the deck of playing cards as far as he can, goes up to the nearest person he can find other than the volunteer, and just reaches into their pockets. It's like, excuse me, sorry, just one sec, let me just, and pulls out none other than the ace of spades.
They are astounded by this. Is this the trick, or is that still yet to come?
Someone in the crowd, the person who screamed mind freak, fully foams at the mouth and faints.
This is the trick.
The trick.
It was nothing. This is just routine. This is just hand warmers. We had a whole show lined up.
You got a whole show lined up? So when it comes time for the trick, for the greatest trick in the arsenal, the one you've never shown an audience before, how exactly does that one go down?
Well, let's see. I think that this entire event is just kind of taken on a pier that nobody really uses as much. by the bay. And it's a really cool one. He hasn't really tried this one out, but you ever seen a boat disappear? Sure, these people sure haven't. Now watch. Need you all to... Alright, I set these bleachers up, so just sit right by the bleachers, not on the side, just right. So you look at this curtain, giant curtain. You see the curtain, right? Alright, you see the boat. See the boat back here. Just point to like just very, very dingy, just like run-down houseboat.
Is this the houseboat you live out of?
I think it is at this point. He saw this on a show that was airing in, late 2010s. All right, need you all to just sit down and watch. Start to close the curtains.
They wait with bated breath. They are ready for this.
What's he gonna do?
Gonna say the magic words. Abara Kadabra.
You feel something strange deep down inside of you. Something tearing at the edges of your consciousness. This is no mere magic trick you have unleashed. This is something more. This is a true illusion. You can feel the roar of the crowd, their cheers, their awe, their wailing lamentations as they are ripped away and taken beyond the boundary, leaving you alone up on stage. Alone with the red ace.
It's probably nothing.
It's probably nothing.
There.
It's fun.
Sits there for a moment. Walks over to his phone and ends the live stream.
Oh,
that's
that sure was a day.
I love the reaction of the pog face man. just disturbed pogging.
Was the boat still there? Did you make the boat disappear?
Yeah, did the boat
I think we were on the wrong side of the curtain. I haven't done this one before. It's still working out the kinks.
You'll have to try that one again sometime. Get a new audience. Fresh. Untainted. Now, Jet, you remember it like it was, well, not yesterday, but a very long time ago. It was the end of the school year. A field trip out to Knott's Berry Farm. One last hurrah before you went your separate ways to different middle schools the following year. Melvin had brashly declared before the whole class that he would set the world record for fastest completion of the corn maze before dashing off inside. That was an hour ago. The buses are about to leave. Do you go in after him?
Jet just walks through the corn walls.
You walk through the corn walls. They offer some amount of resistance, but you're sturdy. You just pass right through. It's fine.
This man truly cannot be stopped by a critical path.
This is not a new
fucking
problem.
wall.
This has been lifelong.
Yeah, this is what we're learning here, is that this wasn't just Keith improvising the whole time. This is lore for his character. Jet does not respect boundaries at all.
Walls are just doors for brave people.
Expert doors. When you finally find him inside, he's broken down crying.
Hey, I know that artist. That's Crimson Rabbit.
Guest art by Crimson Rabbit. He was never any good at mazes. The boy could barely find his way out of a paper bag. He just wanted something he could be the best at. Something to devote all this boundless energy inside of him towards. Something that would make people like him. But he's gone and messed that all up. He's sitting there, crying, not moving, not making any progress on the maze. It looks like he's given up.
Someone mess with you?
The maze did.
What the fuck did he say?
It's hard to make out what he's saying with those big canines of his coming in, giving him that little bit of speech impediment that his speech therapist is still working on him with. But you get the impression that the maze defeated him. Life has defeated him. He's not feeling too good about himself right now.
Hey, stand up.
Why are you here?
Come on. Melvin, mazes are made up.
What?
Come on. It's not real. It's just lines. It's stupid.
But I wanted to set the record. I wanted everyone to see how cool I am.
Well, you did it. You set the record for still being the fuck out here. Come on.
Wait, do you think there's a record for the most time spent in the maze?
Yeah, you won, but you're about to set it by several days if you don't get on the bus.
Will you stay with me?
Jet just picks him up. like arms over his own shoulders, just like hoists him up and just starts walking.
You carry him from the corn mage, disrespecting the boundaries.
Yep.
As you get him out of there, he sniffles up on your shoulders, but clutches you closely. I wish I had done this with you instead.
Well, lesson learned then, huh?
Next time, let's go together.
Yeah, next time. Let's get home and let you build a big tower or some shit. Make you feel better?
Yeah. Now, Keaton.
I pogged in real life. I wasn't expecting to come next.
I wasn't sure if I'd go out.
So for chat, like I'm a streamer, right? Like I'm a VTuber. I forget that my avatar isn't visible all the time. So I will often react and then realize, oh no, my facial expression isn't being captured.
I also wasn't sure if I was going or not because I couldn't tell if these are diegetic like pod dreams or if it's just like an interstitial about real flashbacks.
What's important is that we know you pogged.
It's true.
Someone draw Keaton Pog, please. I
Don't
need
pog.
that.
People get kidnapped when they
for
pog.
The channel.
Keaton, Jane, Danica, Morgan, Tanya. You've been so many people. Do you even remember who you really are?
I think she thinks back to that one runaway. That one person at 17 who left home from a happy family, daddy's girl, straight A student who just decided one day she was done with it and forever would be a mystery to the rest of her hometown.
And that's what you've become. A mystery. A person without a past, without an identity. Take away all the fake IDs and social security numbers you've squandered. And what do you have left? What have you made for yourself underneath all of that?
An apartment in a loft above a shitty goth industrial techno warehouse nightclub in the LA Docks district, the ass end of somewhere no one will ever look for anyone. Not even the police are interested in the warehouses. The stolen goods are kept on the boats here. But there are people there, maybe just a few, who care about Danica or Morgan or Tanya or most importantly, Jane Figueroa. And she's thinking about them.
And as you think about them, you think about the lies you've told them, the trust you've broken. And you hear the music from the club beneath your flat. It's so loud. It's noise, hot, sweaty, grungy noise. It smothers you and squashes all the niggling little regrets that you would be so much better off without. All the loose threads that you should just snip, sever, walk away. All the bridges you should go ahead and burn. Your eyes have been opened to a whole new world. It makes everything before seem so small, so petty. In the face of all that, what has your little gain even amounted to? What can you even amount to? Where does the stag go from here?
I think there's a sense of hubris, like knowing hubris, of feeling like one is at the top of the world and knowing that they're vulnerable, but still feeling comfortable in that. And a whole vision of Keaton's life, like, unfurls in front of her, of vast information networks and people being controlled and understood, information greasing palms and Bitcoin filling her wallet. And this sense, this constant sense of stability and control underlining everything, underlining and supporting the throne that she sits on. And she's comfortable for just a moment. Until the thoughts of those people come back to her mind. Of her landlord, Louisa, and the security guard at the club, Bruce. Of all of the people in her life, of Robbie the bartender, and even those armadillo twins she never really got to know, but always felt bad about not knowing. There is a separation between the wired and the real world. And no matter how much control she has over the internet and over the digital domain, there's an imbalance there that she's feeling. Something that nags at her as she wakes up when she goes to bed each night disconnected. Something that pulls her attention as she wonders if she really knows what she's doing.
Snapper, you're here at last in Cape Karma, the place where Mr. Man's entire career went up in smoke, the place where your father was forever changed, the place Google Maps insists doesn't actually have a lighthouse. But here it is, standing before you. Something else catches your eye, though. A green hat discarded in the dirt. That couldn't be. Could it?
Is it?
You take a closer look. It's the Green Man's hat. You'd recognize it anywhere. You collated that page on the wiki.
It's so long, though. There's no way.
There's no way it could still be here. It's been, 7 years? As you approach, the wind takes it, blowing it towards the lighthouse, settling at its base near the open door.
I gotta go after it. There's no I have to know.
You approach and you retrieve the hat, and it looks like the hat. If not from the same run, if it was mass-produced perhaps, you're not sure. But now that you're here before the lighthouse, it just stands there, imposing. You see something glowing at its peak. You gotta check that out, right?
Absolutely. Why is there a lighthouse here? I never asked anyone. Why is there is it on? Is it still functional? I'll go up.
Inside the lighthouse, the radiant glow from within overwhelms you. Reality fragments around you, splintering like glass as you're surrounded by a sea of stars. But the brightest one of all, in the very center, lighting up the lighthouse from its peak, is shaped like a man. The Burning Man stands before you, capturing your gaze and refusing to relinquish it. He speaks to you, not in words, but in ideas.
What does he say?
He kindles the fire inside of you, stoking that burning desire, a geas to find Mr. Man.
Of course I've got to find him. I have to know what actually happened. I have to know what happened to my dad, what happened to everyone here. It's been bothering me for almost a decade.
You have to know. You have to know. Your eyes burn. The light is too much. Do you use the Green Man's hat to shade your eyes?
It's the only thing at hand. Put it on, shade my eyes a little.
As you do, you hear a soft chuckle from the Burning Man.
It's all up to you, kid. It's on you now.
I won't let you down.
Atta boy.
Uh-huh.
That guest art was from Demon Skunk.
I pogged.
That was so cool.
Oh yeah.
My heart is beating so hard that it feels like I ran a marathon. I didn't know that was coming.
There was just long enough to hear Burning Man and recognize that he's wearing a hat and poncho that I was like, hang on a minute.
My Kokoro is doki dokiing. It hurts.
He's gonna die in minutes.
He has minutes to live. Speaking of people minutes to live, Javier, you're coming too.
No.
Another test, another fucking test, another day of drugs and puzzles in hopes you'll show them what it is that makes you special. The entire reason they locked you up in this godforsaken place. But they fucked up. They didn't hit you hard enough with the sedatives. Or maybe you're just growing a tolerance for them. And they don't know about your shiv. What do you do?
I think I kind of just wait and watch to see if he says anything.
You hear discordant echoes of speech, like listening to the grown-ups in a Charlie Brown Christmas special. You hear what sounds like words, but echoed and refracted in ways that let you know your sense of hearing is not fully online yet. They are examining you. They are watching and waiting.
Holy shit. They think I'm asleep. This is wild. I think at this point he just kind of like, he realizes he has his shiv, but he's like, oh man, as much as I would love to just take this guy out right now, I can't do it. I'm too weak. Where would I even go? No, that wasn't the plan. That was never the plan. I was just gonna tunnel my way out of here if I have to.
As you start to become more lucid of surroundings, letting this opportunity slide from your fingers, you get a closer view, a clearer view of the person who's standing before you and looking over you. It's not one of the scientists that's been torturing you for so long. It's Dakota.
Hey, buddy.
Good thing you didn't stab him.
Oh. Holy shit, man. Boy, am I glad to see you. They didn't, they fucked up. They didn't give me the strong enough stuff this time, I guess.
You are back to the present, waking up and remembering the gas that emitted from that weird Lotus-filled computer, knocking you out. You see the rest of the group, save for Jet, around you, slowly rousing as well.
Wait, am I awake?
I just love the moment of like, do I stab him? Do I stab him? Oh my god, Dakota, hi!
You were trying to bait the knife wrap, but it, nope.
I was!
Nope. Yeah, what do I see? And like, how is everyone doing?
Everyone looks like they're coming to slowly, groggily, but they'll be fine after a couple minutes. The door is open. The door is gone. It got jetted. You've seen this before.
Is Jet in the room?
You don't see him in the room here, but you see movement in the room opposite one, looking out the door and into the next testing chamber.
Am I able to discern if that's Jet that I see making the movements?
You do see Jet in there, yes.
Okay. I think we should see what he's up to.
Getting up and walking into the next room, you see Jet in an embrace with a tremendous creature who is sobbing uncontrollably. And that is where we'll take our break.